This is lesson 30, writing an equation in slope-intercept form. So there's a certain form of an equation of a line that we look at in math. Since we have elements, a couple of elements that we could look at in math, we can make an equation easily. Today I'm going to teach you how to identify the equation, and then tomorrow it'll be a lot easier to graph it, okay? So a couple of things to notice is this thing called slope. We learned that last week. Slope is the slant of a line, and we know this is like saying rise over run. Remember this last week? Or another way to look at it is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Remember this from last week, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the y-intercept. Oh, one more thing about slope. Slope, the letter for slope is m, okay? The letter for slope is m. Then we have y-intercept. It's where the line touches the y-axis, okay? And we call that b, okay? You got that? Okay, here are the steps for today. We're going to be writing the equation in this form. Y is equal to mx plus b. You should memorize that. Identify the y-intercept and substitute b with it. Identify the coordinate of the y-intercept in one point and calculate the slope between these 2 points, and then substitute m with the calculated slope, okay? So, here we go. Watch me do numbers 1 and 2. You're going to get graphs that look like this, okay? And I want you to write an equational line. James, look up here. Thank you. Okay? So, looking up here, first thing I want to do is I want to write down my slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus b. I have to figure out two things. I have to figure out what m is and what b is, okay? We don't know what m and b are yet, so first thing I want to do is find what b is. It's where the line crosses the y-axis. So where does it cross? It crosses right here. What's y equal to here? It's equal to 1. So our b, or y-intercept, is equal to 1, okay? So since we know this is our y-intercept, I can pick that as a point, and I know this point is 0, 1, okay? Now I'm going to pick one more point. I'm going to pick this one right above it. It crosses perfectly. I'm picking a point that crosses perfectly. Look up here, everyone. Look up here. Thank you. All right? So if this point's crossing perfectly, then we're going to figure out the rise over run. From this point to this point, it's going to rise 2. And it runs 1, okay? So our slope is going to be equal to 2 over 1, okay? So then we're just going to go and plug this into our equation. So y is equal to 2 over 1 x plus 1. And that's it, okay? Again, what did I do? First thing I did is let me slow this down a little bit. It's a little too fast. Wrote my y-intercept form down. Figured out what my y-intercept was, is 1. 0, 1, I picked another point, figured out my slope, it's rise over run. Then I put both of these, replace them with these two values, so m and b. That's it, okay? Watch me do number 2, okay? Number 2. We're going to try to write a line again, so we got to write the slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. Okay? This line crosses the y-axis right here, okay? So I'm going to go to this point, figure out what point this is. It crosses the y-axis where y is equal to -3. So our b is -3. Now we're going to find our slope. We're going to pick 2 points. Okay, this is a point, and let's pick another point. Let's pick a point. Looks like the only point I could pick is back here. Okay, so starting from my original point, it's rising 1, so, rising 1, so the slope is 1, and then it's running negative, right? It's running negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's 1 over -5. 1 divided by -5 is -1/5, right? So then I would plug both of these into my slope-intercept, mx plus b, so it's going to be -1/5 x plus b. Our b is -3, so we're going to put plus and -3, which is just -3. And that's it. Okay? Does this make sense? That's all you're doing is you're writing down the equation of the line. Okay? So when we have 1 solid 2 is about number 1, 2 solid 1 is about number 2. Ready, set, go. Here we go. Number 3. Number 3. Okay? Number 3, iPads out. Turn on your Desari app. It's where they cross the line. So that's a good question. How do you know what the points that you want to choose? It's always where you have to look at where the line crosses the grid or the lattice marks. So you can't really pick this point here, right? Why can't you pick that point that's getting thicker? It's not crossing there, right? Is it crossing here? No. You got to look at it very carefully. It's crossing here. That's a really great question, actually. So, okay, first thing we want to do, let's do this one together. We are doing it together. So first thing you want to do is, you're not showing me a graph today. You're just going to start with y is equal to mx plus b. Today's goal is not to graph. You're looking at a graph and writing an equation down. That's the first thing you write. So you don't need to even use the graph paper on your iPad. Okay? Let's find our b first. Turn to your neighbor, tell them what b represents. What does it represent? The y. Okay, so b represents what? The y-intercept, and we get it from looking at the y-axis, which is at where again? Where does it cross? Positive 2, right? Good. Okay, so exactly. We're looking at the y-axis, and our b represents 2. Okay, good. So let's mark that. We would mark that as a point, and then Noah asked a really important question. He said, "What happens if you or where you pick a point?" Right? Well, you can't really pick one anywhere you want. You have to pick it where the lines cross on the graph. So it crosses here. So we have 2 points here. It doesn't matter which ones you pick. Okay, let's see. How much does it rise? We're going rising. How much, everyone? 2. So our m would have a numerator of 2. And then how much is it running from there? How much? 5. Good, 2/5. Okay, so we have these 2 pieces of information. Show me your final equation now that we know our y-intercept and our... Okay, next one. Turn to your neighbor. Tell them what's the y-intercept. What's the y-intercept? What number is up there? 4. Good. Okay. What's the slope? This one's a little harder, right? So let's pick a number. Let's see. This is a point up here at the y-intercept for sure, and then there's one right down here, okay? I'll give you that information. Go. Finish up the problem. Slope stands for rise of a run. So we're thinking, how much is it rising? Okay, from here to here, how much is it rising? Is it rising or falling? Falling. So that means it's positive or negative? Negative what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So it's negative 7 over, and how much is b? Okay, I saw a bunch of different answers. I saw some people flip them. I saw 2s, 8s. I don't know what's going on. 7, and then 3. So our slope is negative 7/3, right? So you should have really had y is equal to negative 7/3 x plus 4, right? Yeah. Box your answer, and you're done, right? Now, looking at here, I want you to notice something. What kind of slope do we have here? Was it positive or negative on this one? Positive. This was positive, right? What slope do we have there? Negative. Okay, here's a prediction, okay? Pretend like you're walking on the line from left to right, like you read a book. From left to right, are you walking uphill or downhill? Down. Uphill. Right here. Uphill, right? So your slope is positive, right? Did you all see that? On this one, are you walking uphill or downhill? Down. So your slope is negative. You all see that? Hopefully you saw that. Okay, that's a prediction. Next one, number 5. Number 5, uh-oh. What kind of slope do you have here? Is it uphill or downhill? Is it neither? So is there any slope? No. So what number represents nothing or no slope? 0. Okay. So you still have to do. Don't worry about 6 right now. Worry about number 5, okay? So number 5 what's the slope do you predict? What do we say it was? 0, right? Because it's not really moving, right? It's not going up or down. And if you were to pick 2 points, let's say you pick this one and this one, it rises 0 and it runs 1, which is still 0, okay? Okay, finish up the problem. You still have an equation for this one, so go. Okay, looking up here, look up here. You should have had y is equal to 0x plus 4, right? What 0 times anything, if we look at this term, what's 0 times anything? 0. So wouldn't this really be like saying 0 plus 4 and 0 plus 4 is 4, right? So really your answer should be this, okay? However, this is an okay answer too, this one right here, okay? But on a test, you will likely see the bottom of the box answer, okay? Last one, 6. What's the slope here? Undefined, right? Because it's like it could rise, it rises and runs 1, but it could fall 0, right? Does it touch the y-intercept at all?
No.
No, it doesn't. Okay, so on this one, this is an undefined line, but it still has a line. Just like on number, so stop for a moment, look up here please. Just like on number 5, we had y is equal to 4. You notice how this is a straight line and it's crossing 4 on the y-intercept. Is this one crossing the y-axis at all? But which one is it crossing? X. So if this one crossed the y and it had a y at the beginning, this one's crossing the x-axis, so what should it start with?
X.
And where is it crossing? X is equal to 3. Okay, so that's really your answer. We have an undefined slope, so it kind of makes things a little tricky, but your equation would be x is equal to 3. Okay? So whenever you have an undefined slope, you start with x. That's the only time, okay? And that's it. That concludes the lesson. So what I'd like you to do is, not this, let's have you turn off your iPads.